welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is to really get into one of the most foundational and honestly most dramatic legends of the Elder Days, the Fall of Gondolin.
Absolutely. It's pure high-stakes mythology, isn't it? You've got this incredible elven city hidden away, unparalleled glory.
But then this crushing isolation, treachery from within, and the constant meddling, you could say, of the divine powers.
Exactly, a perfect storm of tragedy and heroism.
Now, the sources for this are, let's be honest, a bit tricky. We're dealing with a story that wasn't set in stone. The creator himself called it a shifting structure. What does that actually mean for us trying to understand it?
It means we're looking at something alive, something that grew and changed over decades. Tolkien was constantly revisiting it. Names change, motivations get deeper, details shift. It's less like reading a finished history book and more like watching the history take shape.
So it's dynamic, not just a plot, but kind of a commentary on how stories themselves are made.
Precisely. The maker of the history, as he put it, was always finding new angles, new connections.
And that shifting nature allows for these really subtle, almost hidden moments of connection, right? Like that brief encounter between Tuor and Turin.
Oh, that's such a fantastic, poignant detail. It's almost a throwaway line, but it speaks volumes. As Tuor is heading towards his destiny, guided by Varanwi.
Those guys, right?
Yeah. They hear this cry in the woods, and they see this man, tall, grim, all in black, carrying a long black sword. Just walks past them, silently.
And Tuor has no idea who this is. Just some grim figure in the woods.
None at all. But we know, or rather, the narrator makes sure we know, that it was Turin Turambar, the Black Sword himself, Tuor's own cousin.
Fleeing the destruction of Nargothrond at that very moment. Their paths cross, totally unrecognized.
Oh.
It really hammers home the sheer scale of fate operating in the background.
It really does. And the main force pushing events forward here isn't really the elves or men initially. It's one of the Valar, specifically Ulmo, the Lord of Waters.
Ah, Ulmo. Okay, so the Valar, for anyone needing a quick refresher, are like the archangel figures, the powers who shape the world. But Ulmo kind of goes rogue, doesn't he? He acts against the others.
He does, and the context here is huge. After Melkor, or Morgoth, destroyed the two trees in Valinor, the sort of blessed realm.
The light of the world, basically.
Exactly. The other Valar essentially said, okay, that's it. They pulled back, fortified Valinor, the hiding of Valinor it's called, and basically tried to shut out the troubles of Middle-earth.
They retreated into isolation.
Pretty much. But Ulmo refused. He alone still cared deeply about the elves left behind, and he genuinely feared Morgoth's growing power. So he became this the secret voice that gainsayeth. He kept trying to intervene, to guide the elves, push them towards action or escape.
So he's the outlier, the one hope from the powers when everyone else had kind of given up on Middle-earth.
That's a good way to put it. He's working against the tide, even among his own peers.
And connecting Ulmo's grand divine plan to the world, we have figures like Círdan the Shipwright. His lifespan is just mind-boggling.
Círdan is the ultimate long-game player, isn't he? He's there in the first stage, Lord of the Havens, building ships for Turgon ships that were trying and failing to get messages to Valinor back then.
And then thousands of years later, he's still there at the Grey Havens in the Third Age.
Still there, giving Narya, the Ring of Fire, to Gandalf. He embodies that connection to the sea, to escape, to Ulmo's long-term vision. He literally waits until the very last ship sails. He's the constant.
Okay, so Ulmo's the divine engine here. Let's track his chosen messenger, Tuor. He starts off, well, pretty humbly. A man of the north, right? House of Hador.
Yeah, son of Huor, Turin's cousin, actually. His early life was rough, enslaved for a time by Easterlings under this chief Lorgan, escapes, lives as an outlaw in the wilds. Nothing screams destined hero at first.
But Ulmo has plans. He guides Tuor, using magic and destiny, the text says, towards this hidden way.
Right, a hidden river flowing out from Lake Mithrim through this huge cavern system. The key thing is, this route was specifically designed by Ulmo to keep Tuor off Morgoth's radar. No spies could track him there.
Anon and Gelad, the gate of the Noldor. That's the entrance.
That's the one. And this journey eventually leads him out, for the first time in his life, to the Great Sea, the Lager.
And this is where it shifts, isn't it? From just a perilous journey to something immense, divine contact.
Oh, absolutely. Tuor is standing on the shore in Nevres, this abandoned elven land, and Ulmo himself rises out of the outer sea. And this isn't some subtle vision.
No.
No, this is the Lord of Waters in his full might, clad in mail like fish scales, silver and shimmering, vast, powerful. The ground literally trembles. He has this incredible musical instrument made of huge, twisted seashells.
Wow. So direct, overwhelming contact.
Unmistakable. And the sound he makes, it's described as this deep music filled with the power of the sea, with magic, with destiny. It sets the scale. The gods, or Valar, are directly involved.
And there was something else waiting for Tuor there, wasn't there? In Turgon's old hall, Vinyamar.
Yes, Ulmo had prepared for this moment centuries before. Tuor finds specific gear left there: a shining silver mail shirt, a helm, and this long, distinctive shield.
The swan's wing emblem.
Exactly, the emblem of a white swan's wing on a blue field. Gear meant specifically for him, the messenger Ulmo foresaw. It marks him.
It visually ties him to Ulmo, to the sea, to this divine mission. He's not just some wanderer showing up. He's an ambassador.
An ambassador with a very difficult message for King Turgon of Gondolin. It wasn't a request, it was an ultimatum, really.
What was the choice?
Stark. Either Turgon must gather his strength, march out, and wage open war against Morgoth's forces immediately.
Which sounds like a massive, almost impossible gamble.
Extremely dangerous.
Or the alternative, abandon Gondolin.
Yeah.
Give it up entirely, lead his people down to the sea, and try to sail west to Valinor. Seek forgiveness and aid from the Valar.
Basically, destroy your life's work or risk annihilation in open battle. Heavy choices. Very. And incredibly, Ulmo also throws in this prophecy about Tuor's own future son, Arendil.
Right, the child who would know more of the sea and sky than any other man.
Yes, hinting at this incredible destiny bound up in Tuor's line. This child would be the key to everything, the ultimate reason for Ulmo's intervention. He needed Tuor, this man who would come to love the sea, to bridge the gap between men and elves.
So Tuor, armed, blessed, carrying this heavy message, finally reaches Gondolin. Guided by Voronwë, the elf who survived Turgon's earlier doomed sea voyages.
That's right. Voronwë leads him through the final secret ways into the hidden valley, Tumliden, and there it is. Gondolin, the hidden city on its hill, Amon Gwereth.
Tell us about the city. It's legendary for its beauty, right?
Yeah.
A piece of Valinor in Middle-earth.
Oh, absolutely stunning. It had 7 names: Gondobar, the city of stone; Lothengriol, the flower that blooms on the plain. It was meant to be a reflection of Tirion, the elven city in Valinor, the architecture, the light.
And the trees.
Yes. Critically, at the king's palace stood Glingol and Bansil, 1 gold, 1 silver. Living trees grown from seedlings of the original 2 trees of Valinor that Morgoth destroyed. Symbols of that lost light and beauty.
Everything about it screams permanence, beauty, safety, isolation perfected.
Which makes Turgon's decision even more tragic. Faced with Ulmo's choice, fight or flee, he does neither.
He refuses, ignores the Vel.
He does. It's that deep Noldoran pride, the same pride that led them to leave Valinor in the first place. He trusts in the city he built, his dear labor of long ages gone, the secrecy, the impregnable walls. He can't imagine abandoning it or risking it in open war.
He sees it as an end in itself, not a refuge, a fatal miscalculation.
Completely. He seals the city's fate right there. And ironically, just as doom is sealed, hope arrives, or seems to. Tuor marries Adril Celebrindle, Turgon's daughter.
A union of man and elf right in the heart of the hidden city. That's significant.
Hugely significant. It's the seed of the future, the fulfillment of Ulmo's plan. But there's another seed already planted in Gondolin, a seed of decay, Meglin.
Turgon's nephew. What's his story?
Meglin is complex. Talented smith, but deeply resentful. He lusts after Idril, who is his cousin, and he hates Tuor for winning her love. This bitterness festers.
And leads him to disaster.
Yes. Driven by his obsessions, he defies Turgon's law and goes outside the encircling mountains looking for ore, and inevitably he's captured by orcs.
And he talks?
He buys his life, he reveals Gondolin's location, its defenses, but the absolutely crucial, devastating piece of information he gives Morgoth.
What was it?
He reveals the existence and location of Idril's secret project, a hidden escape route she was preparing just in case. The Way of Escape.
Oh no, so he didn't just betray the city, he betrayed the only backup plan.
Exactly. He gave Morgoth the means to cut off the only hope of survival if the walls fell. Chilling.
And the attack comes, time for maximum shock, during the great summer festival, Tarnanasta.
Perfect timing for terror. The first sign isn't an army marching, it's this eerie red light glowing beyond the northern mountains, staining the snowcaps like blood. Then the assault begins.
And it's not just orcs, is it? Morgoth throws everything he has at them.
Everything. Iron serpents described as these immense, segmented metal beasts filled with orcs like early tanks, brazen drakes breathing fire, and balrogs. Hundreds of balrogs riding on creatures of flame. It's apocalyptic.
The tents must have been desperate. The 11 houses of the Gondolin fighting for their lives.
Incredibly fierce. The sources make special mention of the House of the Hammer of Wrath, led by a lord named Rog.
What did they do?
They fought with maces and heavy shields, apparently causing huge casualties among the orcs, and even, the text says, slaying a marvel of balrogs in a suicidal countercharge before being completely overwhelmed. Pure defiance.
Heroes fighting against impossible odds. And this leads to probably the most famous duel in the siege, right? Ecthelion versus Gothmog.
Yes, in the main square, by the King's Fountain, Ecthelion of the Fountain against Gothmog, the Lord of Balrogs, Morgoth's highest commander.
How did it happen?
It's described as this incredible, almost balletic moment of violence. Ecthelion, already wounded, pale as steel, launches himself bodily at Gothmog. He uses the spike on his own helmet.
His helmet.
Yes. Drives the spike deep into the Balrog's chest, clinging to him as they both fall backwards.
Into the fountain.
Straight into the King's Fountain. Gothmog is slain, drowned and impaled, but Ecthelion drowns too, sinking into the depths. And the fountain itself, the source of the city's beauty, boils away into steam and dries up.
Wow. The symbolism, the lifeblood of the city just gone.
Yeah.
Killing the killer kills the city's heart.
It's the symbolic death knell for Gondolin. While that's happening, Tuor is dealing with the traitor.
Medwin, he's still causing trouble.
Trying to. He grabs Tuor and Idril's young son, Arundel, intending to kill him and seize Idril. Tuor intercepts him on the walls.
Yeah.
A desperate fight. Tuor breaks Meglin's arm, lifts him up, and throws him bodily off the high city wall.
So Meglin falls.
Right down into the fires consuming the lower city. A fitting end, falling into the destruction he helped unleash.
And King Kurgan, what was his fate?
Prideful to the last, he refuses to flee, even when urged. He casts down his crown, climbs his great white tower, the tallest point in the city, and waits.
He just stays there.
Declares, I, Turgon, will not leave my city and will burn with it. The dragons eventually undermine the tower's base, and it collapses in this great, final, terrible crash. Turgon dies with the city.
Tragic nobility, in a way. But Idril's foresight saved some people, right? That secret passage Meglin didn't know about.
Well, Meglin did know about a passage, the one he revealed. But Idril, perhaps suspecting him or just being incredibly wise, had prepared a different, rougher, more secret way, leading north into the mountains.
Contingency for the contingency.
Exactly. And Tuor gathers the survivors, maybe only around 500 or so people, a tiny remnant, and leads them out through this dark, dangerous tunnel while the city burns behind them.
But the escape wasn't easy either. They were ambushed.
On a treacherous mountain pass called Christhorn, the Cleft of Eagles, orcs and at least one Balrog cornered the rear guard.
And this is where Glorfindel steps up.
Glorfindel of the Golden Flower, another great elven lord. He holds the narrow path alone against the Balrog to allow the others to escape.
Another duel with a Balrog.
A desperate one. They fight on the cliff edge. Glorfindel manages to kill the demon, but they both fall into the abyss. A final, incredible sacrifice.
Yeah, the eagles arrive then. Thorondor's folk.
Yes, the Great Eagles attack the remaining orcs and essentially watch over the survivors, ensuring they get through the mountains safely. Glorfindel's sacrifice bought them that final protection. It's worth noting, too, that Glorfindel is eventually re-embodied and sent back to Middle-earth later on. That's how significant his act was.
So the survivors make it. Where do they end up?
They eventually make their way down to the mouths of the River Sirion, by the sea. There they join up with other refugees, including Elwing.
Elwing, the daughter of J.R.R, who possesses the last Silmaril.
The very one. That sets up the next stage of the story. As for Tuor, he lives there for some years, but eventually, feeling old age approach and the call of the Sea Olmo's call getting stronger.
He builds a ship.
He does. Arami, the eagle's pinion. And he sails west into the sunset with Idril. And legend says they actually made it to Valinor. And Tuor alone among mortal men was granted immortality and numbered among the elves.
The only man to receive that fate. An incredible end to his journey.
It truly is. And it leaves their son, Arundel the Half-Elven, to fulfill the final part of Olmo's prophecy.
He marries Elwing, who has the Silmaril.
Correct. And Arundel, guided by the light of that jewel, builds his own legendary ship, Vingilo, the Foam Flower. He sails west, seeking Valinor not for himself, but to plead for help for Middle-earth.
The Great Voyage of Arundel. He carries the message of suffering from both elves and men to the Valar.
And he succeeds. The Valar are moved, but Arendelle and Elwing are forbidden to return to mortal lands.
So what happens to him?
He is set to sail the skies. His ship, Vinilo, becomes a star, and he, wearing the Silmaril on his brow, becomes the brightest star in the heavens. Arendelle the mariner, forever sailing the airs as a sign of hope.
Wow, what a journey. So this deep dive really shows the core themes, doesn't it? Turgon's tragic pride and isolation, the sheer heroism of figures like Rog, Icthelion, Glorfindel.
Absolutely. And ultimately, Ulmo's long, patient plan succeeding through this union of man and elf, producing Arendelle.
And it all comes down to those jewels, the Silmarils. One ends up in the earth, one in the sea.
With Maedhros and Maglar. But the third, the most potent one perhaps, ends up in the air on Arendelle's brow, sailing the sky.
And that star, that Silmaril, visible in the heavens, carrying Arendelle's message, that's what finally pushes the Valar, the angry gods, to act.
That's the catalyst. Seeing that light, hearing the plea delivered by Arendelle, they finally unleash their full power against Morgoth in the War of Wrath.
A war so devastating it breaks the world.
Utterly changes the map. The northern lands are shattered, Beleriand sinks beneath the waves, all sparked by that one point of light in the sky, the fulfillment of Ulmo's prophecy given on a dark seashore years before.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How one person's journey, one act of hope or defiance, can ripple outwards and eventually lead to world-changing events. What seemingly small star are you following? Or perhaps, what star could you become?